Hey everybody, and welcome to the Week 10 recap show of the Fantasy Football League. We only have 4 weeks left of regular season before we move on to the top 8 teams going to the playoffs. And we're just outside looking in now. My 3 wins in a row came to an end. Gary beating me. Started off 0-5 on the season and wins 4 of the last 5 to get to 4-6 and gets himself back in a chance for a playoff hunt or playoff spot here. It was a rough week, 97-67 for me. After I just scored 100 and wasn't it just last week I scored like 140 or 130 something? Or that was 2 weeks ago, maybe. But anyway, Maria wins over Pat was 57.2. And Matt Fisher's team went off this week, 146-110 win over Andrew. Mason beats his brother Zach. The flippin' matchup, 127-78. Colby loses again, 5-5 with that stacked team that he has. Bill winning again, 9-1 now. Back on the win streak, starting now, 126-92. The other Matt with a 133 to a 104 win over Brandon. And my dad wins again, 139-105. He was the one that just came off that win. The big win against Bill, the only one to beat him so far. And then Caitlin winning over Chuck there down at the bottom. So that's your scores. And we look over here on the box score real quick. We'll go through. And this is a big reason why I lost. Dotson with 0 points. Thank you very much, Dotson, for helping me out there in the flex position. And then Gardner Minshew only had 5.6. Look at my tight end down here with 8 points, while my tight end on the bench had a 20.6. Thank you, Kittle, for having a week all of a sudden. And then Bryce Young would have had more in the quarterback spot as well. Miles Sanders only got 3. Hopkins only 5.7. Noah Brown, though, 24.2. It was the highlight of my whole entire team. Colts defense was second best score. That's rough. That's a rough one there. And on the other side, Gary with Josh Dobbs in, getting 25.1 since Tua was on a bye. And let's see, and Jason Myers, a kicker, with 21 points. That's one of the highest scores I've seen a kicker have in a fantasy lineup. Even got 0 with the Bengals defense and got almost 100 still. So that's what that matchup looked like. We'll move on to the next one here. Maria and Pat, very, very low scoring matchup here. Poor Pat was on had a great team. Everything was going perfectly fine for him. He was winning a lot, and then Kirk Cousins goes down and gets hurt. And Kirk Cousins is no more, so he can't use him anymore. But he has Deshaun Watson at 16 down the bench. But he had Taylor Heineke in is who he picked up over since Kirk Cousins is out for the year now. Another quarterback going for the year with Aaron Rodgers, and Kyler Murray is back though, who I believe Colby has. I think I could be wrong. The highest on Pat's team was a 10.2. And on the other side, Maria with Jared Goff had 21. Ayuk had 14.5. Trey McBride at 21. Even had a 0 with the Saints defense, and she didn't have a backup kicker. Oh wait, she did have a backup kicker, but she must have missed that. Huh. I didn't even realize. I thought she didn't have a backup kicker. So that's that, man. She won even though she had a bye in there and had a 0. So basically 2 zeros and still ended up winning. So we move on to the next one. The highest score of the week, Matt Fisher, earns that award this week with a 146. Sam Howell, 24.1. Christian McCaffrey, 20.2. Jalen Warren, 19. Hawkinson, 30. Look at the bench. Brandon Cooks even at 32 on the bench. Can you imagine? Jeez. Jordan Love on the other side here, 16.6. And then even St. Brown had 30.5. Some high scores up at the top half of this. But down here they got a little low. And nothing really impressive on the bench either over here. So that's what that ended up looking like. Moving on to the next one. The Battle of the Brothers. Zach and Mason. Mason picking up Will Levis on me over a waiver. I was trying to get him, but I lost out on him. But he only scored 5.9 last week, or this past week, and Mac Jones 7.3. The quarterbacks on both sides were not that impressive in this. Zach also had a 0 on the flex spot. I think Houston was off that week. Oh no, they would have said bye. No, I don't know. He must have just been out. A lot of high scores over here on Mason's side. A lot of double digits, I mean. All but the Vikings defense. Oh, and the quarterback, sorry. Benches were not that impressive either. Anthony Richardson's another quarterback that's, I think, out for the year. So 127 to 78. They both are at 4 and 6. Going over here, Bill with his 9th victory of the year. Had C.J. Stroud in this week. Scored 40 points last week against my dad. Would have won if he had him in the lineup, but he had him on the bench. He would be 10-0 right now if he had C.J. Stroud starting over Herbert. Herbert even scored. Actually, Herbert did score more this week. 28.4. He actually did score more than C.J. Stroud this week. But last week, not the case. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Kobe was the one that had Kyler Murray. 17.2 points he scored in his first game back in about a year. But that's really that's the highest scorer on his team was Kyler Murray. And look, ouch. He had two 20-point players on the bench. Geno Smith being one of them, the quarterback, who actually did have more than Kyler Murray, and then Lockett as well. So that's your benches. Bill still got Justin Jefferson on the IR. He's waiting for him to come back. He can use him back for sure. He had a lot of buys in this week. I had my buy heavy week was week 7. I remember that. I had like 4 or 5 on the buy. Moving on to Brandon's matchup, losing 133 to 104. 26 for Mike Evans. Yeah, that hurt because it was against the Titans. That was rough. And then 15 for the Browns defense. 19 for Burrow. A lot of high scores over here on Matt's side. And then 18 for Baker Mayfield. He had 23 on the bench, Singletary, so missed out on that one. But I don't think it would have won. Oh, because Prater had definitely had better kicking points than Riley Patterson did. So.
No, actually, I'm not going to go for the stereotypical boring good looks thing. But more of a character fit. Like the Wolfman?
So that's what that looks like. 133. Brandon was actually projected to win by less than a point.
All right, I'm getting the major ass part.
That was headache guy.
No, I think that was great, Robert. Do another one.
No, enough.
And we'll move on.
I didn't raise no male
Oops,
models.
my dad's team winning again.
That's
I
all right.
forgot what his streak is, but he's definitely won a few in a row,
With the territory, that's why they pay us the big bucks.
including one of the biggest wins of the season. Look at Dak Prescott again, another big week, 37 points.
Holy crap.
And Brock Purdy with 23 over here. Jamar Gibbs, 26. But that's really all on this side, on Dylan's side.
You could make some money. You could be
But a lot of 20s over here, a lot of double digits over here.
Make me an offer.
Nobody wants to see
Even
the
had Gallup on the bench with 15, had a lot of points.
Find something for Raymond. There must be a cute and adorable department. Hey, Eric, can we just all let Robert?
So that was it.
Oh, that's all right, Deborah. I don't mind spreading my good fortune. You know, if you want, Ray, I can introduce you to Mr.
Second highest
Gibson
score of
when
the
I pick
week
up
right there.
Okay, Robert, okay? One delusional person in the family's enough.
Hello, Robin. I can't
And
wait
then
to see you
Caitlin
picture all the
and
nuggets.
Chuck with the matchup here. Oh, he had 9 points he lost with the Chargers defense.
I think it's very
That's
exciting, Robert.
crazy.
I'm proud of you.
Zach
Thanks,
Wilson,
Amy. Thanks, Mom.
13. CeeDee Lamb with the biggest
Drugs down there?
amount of points. Still didn't even win the matchup with the biggest points. Keenan Allen over here at 40.5 for Caitlin.
Hey, Dad. So, any of these colleagues Swedish?
Oh, Ray.
I'm interested in my brother's life. And Europe.
Okay, look, will you relax? We're just gonna pick up the pictures and then we're gone.
So we're gonna, you seen some real models, right? I didn't come down here to see PMS lady or laxative girl.
And
Just don't do anything to embarrass
I mean,
me, okay?
Chuck had like nothing else on the bench. All zeros but one almost. So really nothing else he could have really done.
I mean it, Raymond. No goofing around.
But that was that final score. So we got that covered. Now let's move over to the standings quick and we call it another week. As we have 4 weeks left after this. This is your standings as they are right now. Bill still leads the way. Now, Bill is facing Matt Fisher this next week. Meaning, if Bill wins over Matt Fisher, Bill's going to have a 3-game lead by himself over the entire 15 other teams. If he ends up winning and Matt Fisher falls to 7-4, the most, that'll be a 3-game lead by one single team. With 3 weeks to go, after the week is over, would literally like clinch him in the playoffs, I believe. As if he's not clinched already.
This holiday season,
The worst record he could finish as 9-5. Yeah, I think with one more win, he'll clinch the playoff already. Because at worst, all of us at 5-5 can finish 9-5. And that would, tie with 10 teams. 8 make the playoffs. So I don't think it officially clinched yet. Although he's got enough points. I don't know, but either way, 7-3. So that it could be a 10-1, and then 7-4 for the rest of the way down and lower. So let's go down to this part and look at the points for. He's almost plus. He's plus 217 in points. Point differential. Plus 217 in his 9 victories.
Pacifico is a crisp golden lager. Brewed for those who it's what's behind a label that matters.
Let's see any of the biggest. The biggest streak right now is Andrew, who is now dead last, losing 6 in a row. That's the longest streak of any win or loss at the moment. Yep, my dad's on a 3-game win streak. I had 3 before he just beat me, or not him. Who the heck just beat me? Who the heck just beat me?
When you're ready to begin treatment for chronic lymphocytic leukemia, Calquence helps you do
Oh, Gary. Gary was the one that just beat me, who was also on a 3-game win streak. So both my dad and Gary figured something out. They're starting to come back into it. My dad is actually in 8th place right now and is in the position to make the playoff. As he's in the top 10 or top 8. Any tied record goes to, I think, points 4. Because that's what they're ordered in the standings by. If their record is tied, if you look at all the 5 and 5s, this is the order: 11, 12, 1102, 10, 25, 999, 99, 986. So, Maria and Andrew, the only two that have not scored 900 points yet. I'll hit 1,000 this week. Well, Bill's already hit 1,200. Big difference. Andrew looks like he has the worst point differential. About minus 150-ish. Oh, that's 1142. That's 240. So he's about 200 minus 240. Bill at the top is about plus 217. So that's what the standings at the moment look like. And that will do it for Week 10 recap. We only have 4 more regular season weeks left. And then we move on to the playoffs. So that'll do it. We'll see you in the next week. Week 11 recap coming up next Wednesday. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. So long. See you in the next one.